Welcome, everyone, and thank you so much for joining me for another episode of Your Pleasure Incorporated into Daily Living. I am your host, Ellen Nicholas Rathbone, sensuality consultant since 1981 and author of Your Pleasure and life coach with Brave Thinking Institute. Today, I want to talk about something that we all know something about, but not everything about. And I'm not saying we're going to say everything today, but we're going to cover a lot. And that is orgasm. Orgasm, the literal meaning is to swell, to be lustful. And that means that there's a lot of blood going on inside of one's genitals when one is having an orgasm. Now, the wonderful thing about being a human being, whether you're male or female, is that orgasms come in many, many different forms. Some people know them as singular. For her, the singular orgasm is clitoral, and there is no ejaculation. For him, the singular orgasm is through the penis as a result of the orgasm happening inside of him. And there's a release, and that's his one orgasm, unless he's 19 and then he's going to go at it again. But that doesn't last throughout a lifetime. Now, for females, there are also multi-orgasm, the difference being that when a woman has a multi-orgasm, that is when she ejaculates. And when the male has a multi-orgasm, that is when he does not ejaculate. So orgasms are something that we all can have. And whether we choose to take it up a notch or whether we just choose to do basic sex, the most important thing is to love yourself through it. Now, if you want to understand the dynamics and the levels of orgasm, then you have to understand that it is a discipline and a practice. Okay, so the body will do what it has been taught to do from the very beginning. And if you are a male and your first orgasms were through masturbation and you hurried through masturbation, most likely you are also hurrying through having your ejaculation orgasm today. So unless you've taught yourself differently, and you absolutely can teach yourself differently because again, orgasm is a habit. Now, the quality of orgasm really does depend on the amount of control you have, the discipline that you have put into making love or having orgasm so that you do have control, knowledge of your own body, that you know what it feels like, that you know where the levels of control are so that you can stay within those parameters, care about your body. If you care about your body and you want the best experience that your body can give you, this again is a practice. It is a pursuit. It is an understanding. And it is all based on the amount of respect you have for yourself. If you love yourself, if you respect your body, if you care about the quality of orgasm that you're having, then it can be even more joyful, healing, and wonderful as the years go by, because you are learning about yourself and you are experiencing all the different levels that your sex drive can give you. Now, as I just mentioned, all orgasms are a learned response, and based on our habits, it is what creates the foundation of what we know is the route to orgasm. So it's a good idea to establish good habits leading to orgasm when you are young, because if you're first starting off and you learn control, then through extended orgasm, the pleasure will be all the more intense. And the quickie will be something in your lifetime that you can choose to do, but it doesn't choose itself, because a lot of people have quickies, and that's sex within 5 minutes of penetration of whatever kind. And that's not enough time for both partners to really be satisfied. It takes time for the female to build up enough blood And if the male wants a quality orgasm, then he also has to build his steam and his intensity, and that comes through holding back. So when we're forming these habits, whether we're male or female, or deciding or creating whatever our pronouns are going to be, I just want to remind you that all of us start off as female. When we are in utero, we are all female to begin with. And then at one point in about the 5th week of gestation, the Y chromosome kicks in, and now it's not 2 X's, which is the female, it's an X and a Y. So that's when the division of body parts starts to happen. But contained in that original sperm and egg are all of the qualities and necessities for both sexes, because we are all both sexes. As some of us manifest as female because that's what we choose, and other of us manifest as male because that's what we choose, and then others don't necessarily want to follow what others think is male or female. So they're following their own path. But the bottom line is that we all start off with 2 X chromosomes, and then the Y happens. And so at that time, that's when all the division starts to happen. So for the female, the part that is sticking out becomes the clitoris. For the male, it becomes the penis. For the male, it is the prostate. For the female, it is the G-spot. For the labia that develop on the female, it is the testicles that develop on the male. And these parts complement one another in the pursuit of procreation. Okay, so, but the bottom line is we have both of those body parts, just expressed a little differently for our pleasure and for procreation. All right. So both can achieve the same kind of pleasure, but it definitely does depend on the discipline that you have, the care that you have for your body, and the knowledge that you have of your body. So as I mentioned a moment ago, a single orgasm is a clitoral orgasm for a female, and usually so extremely sensitive after the orgasm that to touch it again is almost uncomfortable. Okay, not saying that it can't happen, say, in about 15, 20 minutes or so if you want to try to go again, but to actually start stimulating a clitoris right after an orgasm is very uncomfortable. And I think the same thing goes with the male. Once he's had that orgasm, to actually keep stimulating right after the orgasm is nearly painful. So that's the singular. Now, for the multi-orgasm, the male has his prostate, and there is a sexual energy that gets circulated through the body. It goes through the top of your head, down through the prostate, and back up again. There's a whole book written on this subject. It's called The Multi-Orgasmic Male. If you want to read it and learn the discipline, you can find that book on YouTube or on Amazon, I am sure. But it's not something that's going to come to you naturally. It is going to be a discipline that you want to achieve. And is it worthwhile? Cannot put a price on the health benefits that every single orgasm gives you. And if you are rejuvenated after that orgasm, if you are full of energy, vim, and vigor, and just ready to take on the world or whatever you need to do, because you feel healthy, because all the pain has been relieved in your body, because you have not been depleted through ejaculation, I think it's worth it. I definitely think it's worth learning about it and learning how to do it. Now, for the female, that multi-orgasm happens through the G-spot. And a lot of people say, oh, is there a G-spot? Yeah, there's a G-spot, and it's located 1.5 inches up, just like the prostate, except hers is along the vaginal wall and his is along the anal wall. But nonetheless, the G-spot actually produces the same fluid that the prostate produces. And when a woman ejaculates, it's pretty much the same stuff, except we don't ejaculate sperm. But chemically, the stuff that is coming out of her body is the same liquid as what his prostate produces, minus the sperm. So we are capable of multi-orgasm. And that, again, is something that we can continue through knowledge, through Kegel exercises, through technique, and through belief that we deserve that kind of pleasure. Because a lot of people have a real hard time thinking that they deserve pleasure, and they should only have it if, they're giving to somebody else or they're doing something charitable, then maybe they should get some pleasure too. We're talking about the body's natural ability to heal itself. And if you can love yourself enough to know that you deserve pleasure and that you also deserve freedom from pain, because when you have orgasms like that, they produce the most wonderful endorphins, which go into your body and relieve all kinds of pain and discomfort for hours, better than any medication, with no unpleasant side effects. So, for those of you rediscovering your gender, remember that your body doesn't judge or make any kind of interpretations of what it can or can't do. Okay? It doesn't say, well, I'm a male, so this is the only thing I can do, or I'm a female, so this is the only thing I can do. It doesn't do that. It is ready, willing, and able to accept whatever kind of joy and pleasure and satisfaction and care you want to give to it, and then the resulting orgasm, if indeed there's one coming. So it doesn't say you can or you can't or you should or you shouldn't. We are all seekers of pleasure, and we are constantly trying to avoid pain. That is what we're doing here. That is our path, okay? And one of the great pleasures is orgasm. Not only is it good for you, but it is one of the great joys of life. And you know what? If you're taking good care of your body, the repercussions are, just so wonderful. The health benefits of orgasm are so wonderful. They are better than anything that can possibly be man-made. So if you're thinking to yourself, well, whatever kind of body parts you have, whether you have a penis, a vagina, a clitoris, labia, testicles, perineum, nipples, toes, neck, loins, belly button, or anything else, how can you learn to achieve this wonderful pleasure? Masturbate. Masturbation is not just touching your genitals. It is loving yourself from top to bottom. It is closing your eyes and getting in touch with nurturing yourself, rubbing and releasing tension and stress from all parts of your body, hopefully starting from your head and working your way down. It is taking your time with yourself and knowing that you deserve to relax and to enjoy what you have naturally. Now, a lot of people are like, oh my God, touch myself if there's nobody there. Yeah. And take your time doing it, because if you don't have time for yourself, you're pretty much sending out that signal that nobody else should have time for you either. So when you're going to finally get to the genitals, because you want to masturbate, you want to rub everything, your chest, your breasts, your arms, your inner thighs, your butt, your legs, your toes. You want to stimulate everything. And then eventually you're going to get to your genitals. You should make them absolutely last. And when you're going to do this, make sure, number one, you take your time. This is self-preservation and self-love at its highest. Second, if you are absolutely looking to bring yourself to a wonderful height of ecstasy, it's a good idea to have some kind of lubricant necessary, especially the older you are. If you're 50 or over and you're a woman who's gone through menopause, it's a good idea to offset or counterbalance what nature has done to your body. And don't take it as an insult. It's not an insult. It's you adjusting to what is. You need some extra lubrication. Please use it. For guys, especially, if you're going to masturbate, you can't masturbate with a dry hand. That's so uncomfortable. Again, lubrication, so important. And then if you absolutely can and want to, use vibration. Your vibration anyway. I know that you don't look like you're vibrating, but you absolutely are. You're a light energy. You're a light form. And your body is vibrating all the time. Are you vibrating at a high level or at a low level? Do you have positive thoughts of love and self-care, or do you have negative thoughts and low vibrations of doubt and fear and worry and God knows what else? So that all depends on you. But bottom line is you are vibration. So adding a little extra intensity vibration to whatever area feels delightful and exciting to you is a phenomenal thing to do. It's a good thing to do. Vibrators were invented by doctors to cure hysteria of all things. But they have morphed into the most wonderful, phenomenal tools for extra intensity, and today are actually recommended by sex therapists for women, especially who have difficulty achieving orgasm or who never have achieved orgasm. So if you are on this journey and you don't have a partner, a little vibration can go a long way in helping to compensate for the passion that might not be there to elevate the intensity of your genitals. And when I was mentioning before about touching yourself all over, this is more of a tease, a very gentle, slow tease to encourage the blood flow down to your genitals. If you are taking your time, then by the time you get down to your genitals, there will be blood flow and they will be full, and it will be so much easier to have an orgasm, especially if you have lubricant, especially if you've built that certain amount of tension. And you've got at least 5 minutes. You could be doing your Kegels in the meantime, which will definitely help to increase the possibility of having a vaginal orgasm. So these are really important steps to the orgasm. But I think the most important one is there should be no lusting after any particular goal. Don't put any kind of ridiculous pressure on yourself of what you think you should be doing or how far along you think you should be or any of that, because that will play havoc on your mind and you will have difficulty because there will be a conflict between the pressure you're putting on your psyche and what your body is experiencing. So if you can just be in the moment, feel what's going on, no lusting after anything, give yourself every opportunity to really just be there for yourself. Just enjoy and let the sensations go and see what happens. It's your body. Learn to enjoy it for healthy, healing, and even spiritual practice. Masturbation and self-love, self-massage is essential. Now, they don't teach you that in high school. They don't mention that in college. There's no place where anybody is saying that. But, they demonize the idea of self-care through masturbation and self-massage as if it's something hedonistic and wrong and whatever. It's not. It's necessary to be in touch with yourself, regularly and understand that it's a good practice to have in your life. Just like you bathe regularly and you brush your teeth regularly and you should exercise regularly. All of these things are the physical things that we do for maintenance. Well, masturbation, especially when you don't have a partner, is essential for keeping your parts working and also for being grateful that you have this wonderful body that is capable of such wondrous sensations. So whether you're going for singular or whether you're going for multiple or whether you're going for blended, which is a combination of vagina and G-spot, or G-spot, I'm sorry, and clitoris, or whether for him, penis and prostate, that's his blended orgasm. Believe me, we all have all of it. I don't care what you call yourself, he, she, whatever you call yourself. If you have the parts, they can work for you. Thank you very much for joining me this evening. It's always my pleasure to bring news of your pleasure, and I hope that you do incorporate it into your life on a daily basis. If you like this talk, please like it. And if you want to see regular shows or at least be informed about them, like me on YouTube and follow me on Twitter as Sensuality Consultant. Thanks for joining me this evening. It was great fun. I hope you continue to do your Kegel exercises. Take really good care of yourself, and I will see you again next week. Namaste. Love you all. Bye for now.